Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Classic Podcast. This week we're going to go back to reviewing Supergirl, The Flash, Arrow, and Episode 2 of Legends of Tomorrow. Joining me once again are my two co-hosts, Brandon and Luis.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Okay. I love how you guys just sit there like, you're like, even though I say your names, you guys are like, should I start talking now? But anyway, alright, so... once again, 4 episodes, assuming Brandon has not finished Jessica Jones, so we're going to, unless you did.
Nope.
Oh my god, why aren't you watching this? It's really good. That's fine. But anyway, so, we're gonna review Supergirl this time around. Now, alright, so this one starts off with, the basic rundown of this plot is, there's this senator who is basically anti-alien or something along those lines. And
Senator Crane.
yeah, she basically, so they form I always want to say DUP because I'm thinking of Infamous every time I hear their name.
DUP.
No, DUP. Brooke Augustine's gonna show up with her concrete powers and defend the senator against aliens, not conduits, aliens. But anyway, I meant to say DEO. It's DEO, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's DEO.
Yeah.
So a white Martian attacks, kidnaps the senator, puts her in a sewer system. Since white Martians can shapeshift, the white Martian shapeshifts into the senator. She goes into the DEO building, and basically Martian Manhunter wants to kill the white Martian because he explained his origin story and what the white Martians did to the green Martian people, and he's the last one of their kind, so on and so forth. Basically, they meet up, they save the senator, and we get more character development for Martian Manhunter more than anyone. And yeah, that's basically it. Did I miss out anything hugely important? I think I got it through. Oh, by the way,
Mainly, yeah.
The episode ends with a shot of Bizarro Supergirl. I want to say it's Bizarro Supergirl. That's who it is at the end. So, anyway, overall, yeah, man, getting right into it. This episode was what I liked. This episode was really good. It was engaging. It had moral questions. It was really good. I liked it. And it was darker too. That's something I enjoyed as well. What did you guys think?
It's pretty good.
It was pretty good. Yeah, Brandon, before we start this podcast. Yes. I'm sorry.
And also, Cat Grant meeting her son.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. So, sorry. I kind of talk about
the husband of...
Yeah. So apparently,
The
Adam, I believe his name is Adam Foster, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He is played by Melissa Bonest's husband, and she's Supergirl. So if he is the love interest, then that'll be great because they're already
Yeah, I know, right?
they're already married. So boom, bada bing. It's sort of like how in Amazing Spider-Man, even though I hate those movies, I think casting Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone to play a couple was great because they were already a couple in the movie. So I was like, hey, that's great casting because now we don't have to worry about that stuff. So that's cool. So anyway, what'd you guys think? I really liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty good, too.
What did you like? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought I interrupted you.
No, I just said it was pretty good.
Okay, I thought you were going to say something after that. No. But anyway.
Were you saying something? You went silent all of a sudden.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay,
like your voice toned down a little bit.
I was taking off my sweater. It's starting to get kind of hot in here. But anyway, what I liked about this episode the most was that I feel like this show is starting to become like the adventures of Supergirl and Martian Manhunter. But guess what? I'm completely down with that. I love that, man. We got to see... Dude, this episode was pretty dark compared to what we've seen before. I mean, what did you guys think of that? Did you like that, or were you like, no, I don't like that. It should always be lighthearted in this show. What did you guys think?
I liked it.
Yeah, why'd you like it? Did you like the change of pace? Did you like the tone? Do you want Supergirl to go this route more? What do you think?
Oh.
ask these questions every week, and I always get the silent treatment. Come on, guys. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. You know,
I like the character development of Martian Manhunter.
I was gonna say that was by far the best thing.
Yeah.
About this episode was, and like the way they showed the Martians, the Green Martians getting slaughtered and killed and all that. That was like, oh my god, I totally want you to beat the shit out of this Martian. Like, go ahead and kill that white Martian. I would have been fine with that. Does anyone I mean, what do you guys think of that whole stereotype? No, don't prove you're better than that person by not killing them, even though they totally deserve it. Are you guys tired of that trope in comics and superheroes in general? I mean, I'm like, dude, in real life, I'd be like, hey man, it's your choice. I mean, like, what do you guys think?
I said kill the bitch.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I was totally thinking to myself, dude, Martian Manhunter had every right to kill that white Martian. He had every right in his privilege to, because of what that thing did to him and his family and his people. I would have done it. Straight up, I'm not gonna lie. If someone did that to my family or my friends or to my people, I would be like, you know what? Karma's a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's my opinion. I mean, do you guys think... This is actually interesting, and I was thinking about this after I was done watching the show. Do you guys think that the white Martian invasion might happen later in this show? Not right now, but, like, later down the road. Like, maybe Season 2, perhaps. Because
Probably.
there is a Justice League story arc.
Although the episode ended with a Supergirl doppelganger.
Yeah, I was talking about that. We assume that's Bizarro's Supergirl.
Yeah.
So, Maxwell Lord made Bizarro Supergirl. Basically, if we swap out the names of Lex Luthor created a Bizarro clone of Superman. That's the same story in one of these New 52 storylines. So I was like, whatever, I don't care. I actually prefer that version of Bizarro because it makes more sense, because it's like an alternate dimension where it's like, why would Bizarro leave his alternate dimension just to fight Superman? That makes no sense.
I know.
So that always bugged me, because it's like, why the fuck does Bizarro give a shit about Earth? Go back to whatever planet you're from and fight people there.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I think this show is... I'm liking where it's going. Like for the longest time, we were saying, God, this show is taking forever, or God, this is starting to piss me off, because it's not going anywhere. But here, it's like...
Yeah, it's getting better.
It's getting a lot better, actually, and I'm
like I said, I believe I said this in the last podcast. I think at this point, I think Supergirl can be just as good as Arrow season 1. That's where I put this season at.
Okay, well, I don't remember you saying that, but do you really think
it was one podcast?
It was one podcast. Okay,
one of them. I think it was last week's.
Actually, in a way, you know, looking back at Arrow Season 1, they had filler, but they had good justification for the filler, where it was like, hey, I gotta take down these people on my list. And I'm like, oh, so if we have a filler episode, it's still meaningful because you're taking down people on a list. So, okay, you know, that's justified filler. Do you guys think that's justified filler? I think it is.
Yeah.
As long as you're taking down people on your list and you're not... And plus, when you really look back on it, Arrow didn't really have a main villain until
episode 9.
So we almost went like over a good portion of the season before we got our first villain. And I'm like, you know what? It was still really good. Like, some people thought Arrow Season 1 sucked at the time, but I think it was pretty good. I was pretty hooked when I first saw the first episode. I'm like, nice! This is my jam. Okay, so that being said, is there anything I guess we should talk about is, like, do you guys think my only concern with the way they're going right now is the fact that it seems like Aunt Astra and General Node was it? General Node?
Yeah, Node.
Yeah. Non.
Oh my God.
Non-Node, whatever the fuck.
Whatever the hell his name is. Just call him Zod. That's pretty much what he is. So anyway, I mean, like, what do you guys think? Are you guys a bit concerned that they're gonna go down the route of they aren't gonna show up until like near the end of the season, and then they're just gonna fight them out of nowhere? Or do you think like they'll do it like a few episodes before this season finale where they'll show them? And
a few episodes.
I think they're gonna do the few episodes thing, and I hope it's what they do. I don't want a. I think I also brought up this concern was that like, are we gonna take down Maxwell Lord? Like, I hope they don't do is like the second to last episode before the midseason. No, not before midseason. The season finale, they take down Maxwell Lord, and then they take Aunt Astra and General Non out of the equation. Like in a span of 2 episodes. I mean, like, take down Maxwell Lord in a few episodes upcoming, then spend the rest of them taking down Aunt Astra and Node or Non or whatever. I don't know. He's just an asshole. I can't remember him. But anyway, one thing the show didn't cover that much. It didn't really show a backlash between what happened with Wynn and Kara last week.
Other than they're not really
talking to each other.
Yeah, but like it didn't like go that into in depth as much as I thought it would. Like, what do you guys think? Do you guys think they did the right thing, or do you think they should have addressed it like right away, or what do you guys think?
I think maybe for now. I think for now this might have been okay.
Yeah.
But I hope later down the line they really address it.
I think like they sort of like they weren't talking to each other, and then like when at the end of it is like, I hope you have a great day, Kara, and I'm like, oh, is he slowly getting over her because he should?
Yeah.
I mean, we all know he's gonna become Toy Man, but I think that would be really stupid for him to become Toy Man because he got rejected.
I know,
I'd
right?
be like, oh my god, she didn't. I could see it right now, like this in the modern world. I was like, oh my god, she didn't say yes when I asked her out to prom. I'm gonna become a supervillain. Something like that. That'd be really dumb. But
even dumber than Deathstroke's motivation.
Dude, Deathstroke's motivation is like the only thing I didn't like from Arrow Season 2. Everything else was great except that. So,
yeah.
I mean, what do you think, Luis? Do you think they should get the Kara Wynn stuff out of the way, or what do you think of that?
I think just hurry it up. Just literally, just like enough with the romance. Just hurry the hell up.
Are we talking about like
the Non and Astra part?
Yeah, but did you like? See, that's the thing though. It's like this is a good topic to bring up for these shows. Is like balance between superheroics and like the romance stuff. And the problem with all of these shows, in my opinion, is that I feel like it's hard for me to explain, but I feel like there's one part of the show that's trying to, and I'm not just saying this for Supergirl, I'm saying this for all of them. It's like there's one part of the show where they want to talk about like real life stuff and romance, and I'm like, you know what, I'm fine with that. I've talked about that on the show where I think that's perfectly fine. They can do that. They can talk about real life situations with these characters because, like I said, it's not really about the powers. It's not about the battles. It's the characters themselves that what makes these people interesting to us, and that why we want to see them, why we want to read about them, why we want to watch them on movies, TV shows, and all that stuff. But at the same time, the problem with shows that are over an hour, it's like you don't have the budget to show us constant action and special effects, whereas with a comic book you're only limited by your imagination. You know what I'm saying? It's like they kind of do. I think comics do a much better job balancing between both, because it's like, one, they're not limited. All they got to do is draw it, and if they can imagine it and it can be drawn, then they can do that, no problem. But with like shows and movies, you're always going to be limited by your material that you're working with. So, what do you guys think of that? Do you think they should do you think they should keep the balance of real life stuff and romance with action the way it is, or do you think like they should lean more towards the real life stuff over the action, or do you think they should lean towards more action over real life stuff?
Like, Luis?
I think he's thinking about it right now. But anyway, well, Brandon.
Should we give Sean the silent treatment again?
No. I mean, okay, I'll say my piece and then you guys can see yours, okay? Unless you already have your piece. Do you have your?
I kind of think I like the mix of action and real life.
But do you think it should like go more towards action and real life, or do you think it should focus more on real life than action? Or do you think the balance is perfectly fine? Keep everything 50-50 if possible.
Personally, I like it 50-50, honestly.
Yeah. But what I've been saying is like sometimes the most interesting thing in a show is not that great fight scene. It's that great confrontation between two characters that sometimes can be more interesting. Like
because like it's fun to see all the action and stuff that happens on the show, but you want something that could be like relatable to us, like in the real life.
Exactly, and I think that's why we attach ourselves to these characters so much. Is like if they were just no names with just costumes on, anyone could be these characters, and you wouldn't care about them. Like if someone told me. It's like whenever Peter Parker dies, oh my god, there are riots in the streets. Whenever Peter Parker dies, if you fuck with that character, people just get mad right off the bat. You see what I'm saying? It's like if you mess with characters, then people get upset because they attach themselves to that character, not just because I love seeing them beat the shit out of bad guys. I love watching them being people. You know, and I think that's what it's all about. I mean, personally, for me, I think it depends on the show. I think maybe Flash could maybe start leaning towards real life than action, because I feel like they're trying to use their superpowers as like a selling point for you as to why you should watch the show. Versus Arrow and sometimes Supergirl, where it's like, no, this is about a person who is a superhero trying to live a life while also balancing. Whereas with like the Flash, it's all about the superheroics. You guys get what I mean? Or it's like,
yeah,
okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
So Brandon, you think 50-50 the way it should be, but do you think it could be executed a little bit better? And if so, why do you think that? It's a good topic, so.
Well, again, I'm more for like people want something to relate to.
Okay.
I mean, not everyone can go out there, and beat up a bad guy.
I couldn't.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't have the special training or the billions of dollars to do it.
I'd probably scream for my life.
I'd be like, "Oh God, get the bat."
I think you'll probably end up like Laurel when the first time she put on the vigilante suit.
Yeah, but at the same time, Laurel became a badass because of that. So you saying that gives me confidence. Oh my god. Anyway, this is just a joke. All right, good point, Brandon. I agree. Character relatability is super important. Like if I couldn't relate to Arrow, I would have dropped the show. Like I'm saying that with any show. I'm just pulling that one out of, for example, it's like if I couldn't relate to any of these characters, I probably wouldn't watch them or read them, whatever. I don't know. Good point. Luis, have you come up with your opinion yet? Remember, it's your opinion. You're not right or wrong. So, despite what the internet says, opinions are not right nor are they wrong.
Honestly, I think Supergirl we like the path between. I'm with Brandon. We're like 50-50 of it.
But so you don't think it's 50-50?
No, I think it is. I think it's going to be 50-50.
Yeah, but my question was, do you think it's 50-50 right now?
Right now? Well, like, just trying to balance between her being a superhero and her being a human. It's pretty hard doing that. Just every sync is like trying to be a superhero. Like once you're doing something important, then
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere you have to save people.
Yeah, exactly.
Superman does it.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, especially with Supergirl, because Supergirl has powers that none of us are ever going to have in this day and age.
Yeah, but that's like what I said. It's like powers aren't possible. Being Green Arrow is possible, but very, very unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, it's not like I don't think, and this is the problem people have, and that I never understood. It's like I can't relate to Superman because he is powerful, and I just went, that doesn't make any sense because the whole point, can you relate to Superman? I'm not saying so by that logic you can't relate to Batman because you're not rich and you don't have martial arts training and you don't have you know what I'm saying? It's just like that kind of logic to me doesn't really make much sense because it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like one was given great power and one achieved great power. Whether or not you think that's more interesting, like, do you think it's more interesting that someone has all this power thrust on them and what are they supposed to do with it, is an interesting concept. The problem is that people perceive that as quote-unquote boring because they didn't work for that, but I'm like, well, at the same time, if you were told you are the greatest thing on the planet and you are supposed to act a certain way with that power, there's a lot of pressure. Like whenever someone says this is a job for Superman, like Superman has to save us, imagine that weight and that pressure on Superman to go save the planet on a regular basis. You know, that to me is interesting and relatable because it's like, you know, and sometimes in some adaptations and some comics portray that better than others. It's like, how does Superman deal with that?
Yeah.
You know, that's what makes him interesting. Is like, how does Superman, Clark Kent, deal with having all these powers and being mankind's savior most of the time? So, well, it's simple. We get a Justice League, and then we split it. You know. But anyway, back. All right, so that was a good discussion. But anyway, actually, I'm not done with it yet. What do you guys think? Did you ever think Superman was a boring character because of his powers, or what? Because I assume all of us here in the chat love Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yeah.
Luis, do you? I know you do.
Yes.
Okay. Did you guys ever find Superman boring because of his powers?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, me neither. Like, you know, that's a good topic. It's like there should honestly be someone that writes an essay saying why Superman is technically the best superhero ever because he was the first, and you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah, but as long as they keep making villains that could actually, you know, stand a chance against Superman.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Exactly. That's another good.
If Superman just becomes too powerful, then I'm gonna get bored.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like people, whenever they tell me Superman is boring because he's overpowered, I go, have you seen what he fights? I mean, there are people more powerful than him that he's fighting. So, but anyway, that's a good question. I guess we should go back to Supergirl now.
Yeah.
What did you not like?
Kind of the first meeting between Cat Grant and Adam.
Why?
She's kind of a bitch.
Isn't that the whole point of her character, though?
Yeah, but she was talking more about herself than him.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, what are you supposed to talk about?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Where have you been for the past 20 years?
That's awkward for some people, man.
Why did you abandon me?
Oh my god. I'm not going there. But anyway, if you didn't like that, go ahead. But for me, it's like, I don't know. I always say, if you think she handled it wrong, what would you do in that situation? And just because what you say doesn't necessarily mean what you're going to do. So, that's fine. If you don't like that, you don't like that. And that's fine. The only thing I didn't like is, what did I not like? I'm trying to think of what I didn't like. I guess the only thing that kind of bothered me was like when they had Kara in the middle of their conversation being like, no, this is how we communicate with each other. And I'm like, says who? You know, it's just like, why are we bringing the office assistant into all of this?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why? Because she sent the letter and she finished the letter? Well, good for her, but that doesn't mean you have to bring her into this. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Ow.
It just kind of bothered me. You know, that's the only thing I didn't like. What did you not like, Brandon? If there was...
I'd have to say the same thing as you.
Okay. But do you agree with Luis? Do you agree with his complaint about Cat Grant? Or do you think, like, no?
Well, her character is a bitch.
Yeah, but, like, do you think it's a...
But I do think she should have been a little bit nicer to the son. Yeah,
I agree with you on that. But, like, you know, I'm starting to see what Luis is saying now the more I think about it. Okay, Luis, I see what you're saying now. When at first I was like, no, I'm like, oh wait, no, I'm starting to see what you're saying. So like, So if we had to give character of the week and then
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter. Yeah, I knew instantly he was gonna be the thing we were gonna automatically give it to him because he was so interesting this episode, and I hope he's around for the rest of the show. I love him.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's so cool. But anyway, and as for rating, for me, I'm gonna go with, I don't want to give it, it wasn't A material, but it was better than a B. I give it for some reason, do you guys remember what the grading was? I think it was an A for last week, even though I think this episode's was better than last week.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you don't feel it. So you're stuck between an A- and a B+ right
no,
now.
I'm stuck between an A or an A- because at the same time it's like I don't know what it is, but I think like
you said it was not A material.
I meant to say A. I know, but that doesn't mean it's not A- material or A+ material.
Oh, when I was thinking it was all, I was thinking all A, basically.
Oh, sorry. No, I meant.
Damn it, Sean.
Sorry, man. Calm down. But anyway, the point I was trying.
Fucking Sean.
Yeah. But anyway, what I think it was better than last week's, but at the same time, that flaw I had with it kind of bothered me a bit. I'm gonna go with an A. And I'll say it was better than last week's. So, that's what I'm going with. So, what do you guys go with?
A.
What did you guys think? What did you guys think of the White Martian?
It was cool.
Cool.
Even though that, I think I told you this, Sean, that one White Martian is actually the niece of Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, isn't that like... What's the name of Martian Manhunter's niece? Martian Woman Hunter or something?
Mm-hmm.
Miss Martian, McGann Morian.
Okay, Miss Martian. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see her. That'd be interesting, but not now. Maybe down the road.
Not now.
I mean, alright, so Brandon gives it an A.
Same thing, A.
You say A as well. We all say A, and once again, our character of the week, we all agree on it. It's Martian Manhunter, so yay! I think that's like the 4th time in a row we've all agreed on character of the week and letter ratings. But anyway, alright, so is there anything else you guys want to talk about Supergirl before we move on to Flash, or you ready to move on? I'm ready to move on.
I'm ready to move on.
Okay. Brandon?
Yeah, move on.
Okay. So Flash. Okay. Last week we ranted about this episode. We were saying that this episode may suck because they're going back to Professor Zoom or Reverse Flash, whatever the hell you want to call him. Either way works. And I thought to myself, oh my god, here we go. Most confusing origin story of all time. And time travel stuff that'll confuse everyone. And I went, you know what? I thought they did a pretty good job with what they were given. You know, like, I guess the plot summary is that like Yborg Thawne appears out of nowhere and the events of time are happening again.
Mm-hmm.
Giving a plot summary of this shit is really hard. So basically, Professor Zoom is here, and this is where he figures out where the Flash is, and
Who Harrison
who
Wells
Harrison Wells is, and that's what kickstarts the events of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys think that was confusing, or were you like, oh, that makes sense?
A little bit confused, honestly.
What was the part that confused
Little bit.
you?
Just like
Well,
he was. I think the most confusing part, and my brother actually asked me a question like when we were at Knott's, he asked me the question, if Eobard was erased from existence, why hasn't anything, why hasn't what he's done, been put back, like killing Barry's mom or
Okay.
stuff like that?
Eddie
Why
killing
did that
himself?
happen?
Okay.
Yeah, and Eddie killing himself.
Okay.
Like, why didn't that all reset? Because
Okay.
Eobard never did anything. And that was answered, but I thought the answer to that was confusing.
Okay. Here's how Flash operates, and I'm talking about comic books, and I'm talking about shows, and probably the movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
When something changes, instead of destroying everything, it creates an alternate timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this theory going around. There's a time. What's it called? Time travel. There's a time travel theory that says time wants to do what it wants, and there are different time paradoxes that exist, and there are things that are going to happen no matter what. Professor Zoom is something that's going to happen no matter what. You can stop it, you can change it, and he's still going to kill Barry's mom because Barry is destined to become the Flash no matter what. They even do this in the comics where it's like Professor Zoom in one comic, he says, I'm going to go back in time and I'm going to prevent Barry from getting his powers. When he tried to do so, he was fading from existence, and the time was basically saying, nope, because you're not because this is his destiny and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And so he gets his powers the same way, but through different means, if that makes any sense. And so it's like, either way, it's going to happen. There's one paradox called... what the hell is it called? The Hitler paradox, where if you go back in World War II and you kill Hitler because you want to stop the events of World War II, if you kill him, what was your reason to stop him to begin with? You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, if you kill him in World War II and you're still stuck in time, and that time, what motivated you to go back in time and kill Hitler? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because you stopped him from doing anything. So it's like, now that you killed him, why you have to answer the question, well, now that it prevented World War II, what is the other reason? Like, in the now, like, why did you do it? So it was like, and as for, so what Flash does, what it does is creates, Bjorn Thawne is now a walking time paradox. Mm-hmm. Like, there's this one theory that says, like, the events of the future can affect, it's like when you go back to an event and you try to prevent something, you preventing that from happening actually created the event. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what Bjorn Thawne is. He exists at this point solely for the creation of the Flash. Even though the Flash is the reason he became Professor Zoom, because it's all connected, and it's all supposed to happen. Time has its own destiny for everyone. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Guess, yeah.
A little bit.
Okay. That's what I got out of it. So, instead of... And plus, not only that, the time paradox, how Flash Season 1 handled it, when Bjorn Thawne was erased from existence, time had a paradox. You know, that black hole. Mm-hmm. It wanted to destroy that timeline because it changed everything. Does that make sense? And by stopping that, you wouldn't allow the time to reset. So everything went back the way it was, but the events of the present still happened.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. That's how I took out of it. Look,
Okay.
there are so many. I'm telling you, man, I hope we never invent real-life time travel because it will make no sense. So anyway, that's
Yeah.
so if that made any sense to you guys or to the audience, you know, I'm glad I made something out of it. If it didn't, I apologize, but this stuff is really complicated. So, actually, the best way to look at it is like, remember Back to the Future? Remember how messing with the
Part two.
timeline created an alternate timeline where events happened differently?
Oh yeah, Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, that still happened, but technically, since you messed with it, you created an alternate timeline instead.
Yeah.
But everything that happened before you arrived still happened. That's what it is. So, that's what happens. So, and plus, if you're in the DC universe, if you're in the Speed Force, when a time paradox happens, since the Speed Force is time and space, you're not affected. So, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
But okay. But anyway, enough about that. How did you guys think they handled Ybor Thawne's origin story?
Confusing.
What'd you say?
Confusing.
Okay.
So.
I'm not talking about. Okay. Basically, he wants to become the Flash. He replicates the same accident as the Flash that gave him his powers. He travels through time, finds out that he's destined to become his arch enemy, Professor Zoom, and he basically does a self-fulfilling prophecy. I hope that makes sense. Like I said, time has a destiny for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically what it is. So, anyway, so the episode itself, did you guys like it?
Yeah.
Like, put away all the time travel stuff. So.
Did we even finish the plot? Because I don't remember you saying anything about, like, what was happening to Cisco and everything.
Oh, yeah, they made the vibe glasses.
The vibe glasses?
Yeah, they made the vibe glasses. He can now vibe whenever he wants. I want to see a side effect to that, though. Like, when I saw the, like, personally, when I saw, him nose bleeding, I thought, oh, here we go. Here's a side effect of vibing whenever you want. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But, was the nosebleed part of the time paradox, or was it part of, I think it was part of the time paradox.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that the vibing at will thing doesn't become something, because it's like, once you do that, you can pretty much solve anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, alright, he can vibe whenever he wants, but there's going to be a side effect. So save it for, like, the really big stuff. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Don't just do it all the time, because then all tension is lost. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, so that happens. Is there anything else? Because, like...
What do we
Yeah,
talk about the
Cisco
most
nearly
important-
fades away.
Got that. Hunter Zolomon.
I was going to say that at the very end, man.
Oh my
Because
bad.
Stick to the order.
Okay, so Cisco fading away was interesting because Barry telling Professor Zoom, why do you hate me, and all that stuff, that was destined to happen. You know, he was always
Cisco.
supposed to have that conversation with Professor Zoom at that point in time. Whereas with Cisco, he wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, by interfering with what time wants,
Timeline.
by interfering with what the timeline demands, Cisco is fading from existence. So they have to send Ybor Thawne basically to the point where he kills Barry's mom. I'm going to guess that's what they're going to do. Does that make sense? And start the events of Season 1 all over again. So... wow. So basically, yeah. That was cool. I really wanted... Dude, I really liked it when I saw Barry beat the shit out of Professor Zoom. And it's like,
that
fuck
was
you.
a fight. Well, not really like a fight, more like a beatdown of Barry.
That's what I said. He's like, he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Because at that time, Barry, for once, was more powerful than him.
Yeah.
So
That's probably something I didn't like, to be honest, but oh well.
why did you not like that?
I don't know. I thought, even though we already got season 1, I thought a little more, like something a little more epic would have happened.
Yeah, I hear you, Brandon. But didn't they have a race across Central City?
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after all this time, Flash finally catches up to him.
And he can't kill him.
He can't kill him.
Because if he does, shit really goes down. Okay.
Yep.
So, all right. So,
Oh yeah, what about the what was it called? The scooter thingy? Or scooter thingy. What was it?
what scooter thingy?
I don't know why I said scooter thingy. Yeah, that thing that Professor Zoom wanted that chick to build.
Oh, I think that was the cosmic treadmill.
Yeah, the cosmic treadmill. Scooter thingy.
Introducing the time scooter.
Damn it, Sean.
Anyway, was there a time scooter in one show?
I don't know.
I think there was, but anyway, that's not really important right now. Okay.
Why does my brain always go back to Fairly Odd Parents with this stuff?
You know what, man? I think I was thinking the same thing too. I think it is that.
Cause didn't Remy have it?
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, alright, so Cosmic Treadmill, which has always been in The Flash, and it's half the reason why none of this shit makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's what they were gonna do. So personally, I'd let that fucker go back in time. Who gives a shit? You know. Alright, so, that being said, this was overall pretty decent. I want to get character of the week and rating out of the way before we talk about the Zolman thing. Thanks for spoiling that.
Sorry. One more thing.
Right.
Iris saying goodbye to her mom.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The West family thing that I'm no longer interested in compared to beginning of the season. Damn it, Wally.
What a douche.
I don't like him. I still don't like him. I mean, he didn't make me want to choke him compared to last week, but I still didn't like him, man. I still don't like him. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, it happened. I don't know what to say. I mean, it was really predictable. It's like you knew Iris's speech was going to get to Wally, and he was going to say bye to his mom, and yada yada. We all knew that was going to happen. So it's like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cliche, but what?
Oh yeah. Another thing. This is off though. So if you want to finish what you were gonna say about the West family.
No, that was basically it. I just said it was kind of cliche, and we all knew what was going to happen.
What about Patty figuring out that Barry's the Flash?
Oh my God, who doesn't know who he is by now? Moving on.
I know, right?
Wally.
Dude, you know he's gonna know who he is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
everyone knows this.
It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter.
Instead of I'm going back to the Patty thing. Instead of just admitting that he was the Flash, I know what he's trying to do, so I'm not pissed. But instead of just admitting that he was the Flash, he just lets her go. But I know like I said, I know what he's trying to do, so I'm not pissed.
Yeah, but either way, she's gonna get in danger just by being in association with you. So it's like, just tell her. Who cares?
Yeah, pretty much.
Zoom will find you.
Exactly. Especially now that we know who Zoom is, in my opinion. All right, so. Okay, so before we talk about that, let's give our letter grading and our character of the week out of the way. My character of the week, because at least for me personally, I thought they did a great job with what they were given, because either way, people are going to get confused. Mine is Ybor Thawne. Because...
And Sean rarely picks villains.
I know, I rarely pick villains, especially...
I think this is only the third villain you'd picked, or no, maybe the second.
Second.
I don't know.
I picked Damien Dark
yeah,
one week, and then...
You also picked Captain Cold one week.
Oh, that's right, I did. Alright, this is my third then. No way, this is my second. I never picked Damien Dark for anything.
No, you picked Laurel that one week that me and Luis did Dark.
That's right, that debate.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about... Then all of a sudden, I just come in with facts, and I own the argument. I'm like, yep. I remember that. That was fun. Mine is Uborthon because at the end of the day, his origin story is going to be confusing no matter what you do with him. And I think the show did a good job with all that. And to me, it did confuse me personally, but I could see why it would confuse people because, like I said, you know, I've been exposed to this Flash time paradox fuckery forever, so it's like I'm so used to it. Whereas people that don't know much about the character, that only watch the show, yeah, I can see why they're gonna be confused. But for me, it's like whatever. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like for me, Uborthon, Professor Zoom, or Reverse Flash, whatever the hell you want to call him. He's my character of the week. So maybe we'll see him return. Do you guys think we will?
Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows?
Probably. Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? All right, so that's mine. Eborthon. So, all right. What about you guys?
Yeah, definitely Ubord.
Okay. Are you just saying that because you can't
Eobard.
think of anything?
No, I was
Honestly,
stuck between Eobard and Cisco because of the vibe powers.
Yeah.
But I see what you're doing. I see what you're saying about Eobard, and that made me swung towards him.
Yeah. Like, Uborthon's origin story is interesting. Like, even though it makes no sense to a lot of reasons, it's still an interesting origin story, and it's one you want to go back and analyze.
Yeah.
And the fact they did it so well, and they portrayed him as an evil motherfucker. That's all he really is. He's like one of the evilest people in the DC universe. And the fact that they did that so well, I gotta give it to him. So, you know, I picked a one-off villain. What the hell? What's next? I'm gonna pick Tar Pit for next week. So anyway, all right, dude, I can't wait the day where I finally say Zoom as character of the week. I know.
That's gonna go into my letter grading too, because I swore that if Zoom's not in an episode, Flash will not get an A, but I don't know right now.
I don't know, man. They kind of. All right. So letter grading for me. This was a solid episode. It was kind of filler. I will admit that.
It was.
It was kind of filler, and in reality, we probably didn't really need this story, but it was the most enjoyable filler episode this entire season. It did a great spin on a classic villain with an origin story that's going to confuse people no matter what. And it was entertaining, and I can say that these filler episodes for me, they've been entertaining, but this one was really entertaining, and I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of it. So I'm going to give this an A, and I'm going to say because they did such a well job with this episode. Much better than I thought they were. And plus, the Easter egg at the end of it, with theories and going on, definitely an A, because it got me really interested in what this show might be doing. So, what do you guys think? What with your rating?
Cisco's scream at the beginning. My mind's going to that right now.
I don't
know
Oh
why.
yeah, that was so funny.
Cisco's scream.
The girl shriek.
Yeah, he sees Professor Zoom's costume and he's like, ah! So, anyway, what's your letter grading, guys?
Luis?
Brandon's like, I don't know.
I think it was pretty good. I had to give it like a B because, well, the minus of Zoom.
Yeah, but that ending, though.
That's true.
It gave us... I think we finally know who Zoom is now.
Alright.
Definitive.
So Sean can get on to that point. I'll just say A-, but this is the last time unless I start seeing some Zoom.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. Alright, so...
This is the last time.
That's fine. Alright, so... This next theory, I was thinking about that. When I heard Jay Garrick saying, oh, that's my Earth 1 doppelganger, Hunter Zolomon, dude, I literally screamed, what? Outside of my... I went, holy crap, I just started losing my mind. And they were talking, I'm just sitting there going, what the crap? I was literally saying this all out loud. Like, my mind was blown when they said that. I'm like, oh my god, Hunter Zolomon. I know who Zoom is now. Hunter Zolomon is Earth 2 Jay Garrick. Now, Brandon, I don't know if you saw that theory that I said on my Facebook. What did you see those or no?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. What did you think of that? I'm gonna explain for the audience, but like, what do you think of that possibility?
Yeah, I see the points you were making.
I know, like, I was thinking about it. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna drop Hunter Zolman's name, the original Zoom. All right, not this. You know, I'm just thinking to myself, no, and I'm like, wait, is he Zoom? Like, no, Zoom was created in Earth 2. And I thought about it, and I went, oh my god, it all makes sense now. Jay Garrick.
And I would say this is, I won't spoil it yet, but I would say this would be a season revival.
I agree. If they do this, I would be like, okay, season 2, you know what? You redeemed yourself. You know, I didn't hate you or anything, but I thought you were starting to go into the above average territory. And if you do this amazing plot twist that I'm about to say, then you have gained a ton of points for being very above average. But anyway, all right. So here's my theory, guys. Jay Garrick from Earth 2 is I was about to say Professor Zoom. He is Zoom. And the reason why he is Zoom is when you really sit down and think about it, it makes sense. He is never there when, he's never there when Barry confronts Zoom. He's always opposing the idea of Barry fighting Zoom. Remember when he walked out when he's like, well, you can bring Zoom here, but I don't want to have any part of it. Remember when he did that? He's never in the same place at the same time as where Zoom is. Have we seen Jay Garrick encounter Zoom once throughout this entire season?
Like, that was just a flashback.
That was just a flashback. And he could have made that up.
Yeah.
So the point I was talking was like, that makes so much sense. And I'm like, well, why is he doing this? And I'm like, wait a minute. What's the one thing Jay Garrick wants Barry to do? Get faster, right?
Defeat Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah. How does he say defeat Zoom? He says get faster. What does Zoom want? From Harrison Wells.
Barry speed.
Yeah, he wants Barry to get even faster. And I thought to myself, okay, so they both want the same thing. So I thought to myself, okay, well, why would Zoom want Barry to get faster? And I'm like, because of the disease that Jay Garrick has. The only way for Jay Garrick to get better is to have the Speed Force in him. Because the Speed Force is such a powerful thing. It's basically the force of the DC universe. You guys get what I mean? Where it's like, so he wants that. And now you might be saying, wait a minute, Sean, what about Zoom? Does he not have the Speed Force? Zoom in the comics, Hunter Zolman, does not have the Speed Force. He has time manipulation powers. He can't travel through time, but he can slow down time. That's why he's faster than every speedster that he's encountered, including Barry, because he slows him down. He's not faster than him, he slows him down. Those bullets he reflected, he slowed down the bullets. And from our point of view, he just looked like he was doing everything really fast. So he doesn't have the Speed Force. That's why when Jay gets experimented on, he doesn't have the Speed Force. Because Zoom does not have it. He just slows everything around him down. So, and with that being said, now
Hang on.
Wait, what? Brandon, did you say something?
What?
I think Brandon said, like, hold on or something. But anyway, the point I'm trying to get across here is that Zoom has time manipulation powers. He does not have the Speed Force like Hunter Zolman didn't have the Speed Force. He just had the ability to slow down time. That's why he was faster than everyone. So it would make sense for Jay Garrick to not have that ability. Now, my theory goes in deeper, saying that Jay Garrick that we see is actually Hunter Zolman from Earth 2, and Jay Garrick is just a name that he's using because he posed as the Earth 2 Flash. Now, you might be saying, wait, that doesn't make any sense. How is he Flash? How does Harrison Wells from Earth 2 say that you are the Flash? Well, here's the thing. Has Harrison Wells ever seen... Okay, Brandon, I'm going into my theory saying, like, how Earth 2 Jay Garrick may actually be Earth 2 Hunter Zolman.
Yeah.
And that the Jay Garrick from Earth 2 is someone else. So, remember, Earth 2, remember in The Flash, what did Yibort Thawne do with Harrison Wells? He had that technology that allowed him to take his face, remember?
Yeah.
So, what if they had that kind of technology in Earth 2, because it's more technologically advanced? Or, what if no one has seen The Flash, and he steals Jay Garrick's costume? You guys get what I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, so that would make sense to me. So overall, that's my theory. I believe that Jay Garrick from Earth 2 is actually Hunter Zolomon from Earth 2, and he is Zoom, and yeah, that's my theory. So, what do you guys think of that theory?
Yeah, I can see what you're going with.
Yeah, it just makes so much sense, because I thought about it, I'm just like, wait, it's either Henry Allen, I'm like, we haven't seen enough from Henry Allen to suggest that he is.
Zoom.
If we had seen Henry Allen throughout most of the season, I would believe it's his Earth 2 counterpart, but he's been gone ever since, what, the first episode?
Mm-hmm.
So, it doesn't make sense for him anymore. Wally, we just met Wally. And Joe West, that would be a great plot twist, but at the same time, it's like, there's no setup for that.
Yeah.
And it'd be out of nowhere. But with Jay being Zoom, and with this Hunter Zolomon thing, I thought about it, I'm like, makes sense, because Jay and Zoom are never in the same place besides that flashback, and he could have made that up.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what the theory is, and I hope CW does this.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if it's an evil Earth 2 Barry Allen, I will flip. Because that's so boring. Anyway. Alright, so, what do you think is the probability of this theory? Do you think it's going to happen, or do you think it's going to be someone else? Or better,
I just want to know who Zoom is already.
Or better,
I'm getting tired of waiting.
Or better yet, do you think they should do this?
Do you just want to know who Zoom is? Or better yet, do you think you should just know who Zoom is right now and get it over with?
They should tell you who Zoom is. But at the same time, if they do it this way, I can see why they're taking forever. So, I mean, what do you think? Do you think CW should do this? This is such a great plot twist.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think they've done such a good job of eluding people. I do agree. We should have known by now. But if they want Jay
we really
to be in the supporting cast, why would they be taking so long? If it was Henry Allen, they wouldn't be taking so long to reveal that. Whereas with Jay, they want you to think it isn't him. Alright, so that's my theory, and I hope you guys liked it. So, okay. So, alright. Does anyone have their own comments or anything?
Now you pretty much did it. You pretty much said everything that we actually were probably gonna say.
Yeah, but like on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think is the probability of this theory being true?
I think more like an 8.
Okay. Well, like, who else do you think it would be? Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, Brandon is gonna have to be quiet for a little bit, so yeah, enjoy that. All right, so Brandon, if you want to type out your responses, let me know.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
I'm holding the mic close to my mouth a little bit.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think? Do you think that possibility is high? What on a scale of 1 to 10? How much do you think? On a scale of 1 to 10, do you think the Zoom theory I just said will be true or not?
Yeah. I think Jay Garrett is most likely to be Zoom, but I honestly just want to get Zoom over with now. Who is he? And
yeah, but
tired of waiting.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how true do you think my theory will be when it's all said and done?
8.
An 8? Yeah. I kind of lean that way towards 2. I'm going 10. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, all right. So moving on to that, unless anyone has any more comments about this episode or anything. I'm ready to move on.
Me too.
Okay. All right. So on to Arrow. This was, I guess, this was Arrow's first filler episode this entire season. I mean,
yeah, and first one without Damien Dark, which we'll get to later on in the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, this episode to me had interesting moments in it, but it wasn't like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like in the long run, everyone's like, okay, so what was the plot for this one?
Yeah.
I forgot it. Like some I don't even remember the name of the gang that they were.
Yeah, it was Diggle's brother's gang.
Like Shadow
Spire.
Shadow Spire.
Okay. So they go into a story about that. They take over Argus. They kill Amanda Waller. I don't care. I love everyone.
She's the one in the grave.
I know. What if it was? No, it's not her.
It's not.
Dude.
Why would Oliver be that upset over Amanda Waller?
Yeah, I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, didn't he say he wanted to kill her one time?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm pretty sure he'd be like, oh, thank
Yeah.
God.
I mean, she's a bad guy, so.
She's a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad guy. A bitch, though. Alright, so I could see, I mean, the whole Felicity hallucination. What'd you guys think of that? Felicity's old self saying, stop being a superhero and blah, blah, blah. What'd you think of that? I thought that was interesting.
Pretty interesting.
I
Yeah.
thought that was the most interesting thing in this episode. I mean, what did you think, Luis? I thought it was interesting.
I think it was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, John and Andy's relationship being built on, it was cool, but I wish we would have done it in a different episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this one was like, eh. I wish they could have done that later. I mean, I think that was their justification. It's like, hey, this is not filler. I'm like, no, it's still filler. So anyway. Alright. So, that being said, there really isn't much to talk about with this episode. I mean,
Not too much, yeah.
I didn't really enjoy it that much. I was actually kind of disappointed, and then I was looking on the show, and I'm going, no, this can't be your filler episode. No, damn it, Arrow. I thought we were going to go a full season without it, but nope. I'm like, damn it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, I kind of thought it was going to have to happen eventually, I guess. Oh, well. So, yeah. Sorry, guys, for the short review, but it's just, there really was nothing to this. So sorry to say. I mean, alright, so...
Felt empty without Damien Dark.
It did! It felt like this show was missing something. Alright, so... Alright, I guess we should talk about Character of the Week. I mean, like I said, guys, we're really sorry for the short Arrow review. Unless someone else wants to build off something, I can't think of anything to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my god, Amanda Waller died. I don't care.
She's the one in the grave.
That would be so stupid.
I'll tell you, she had to die.
What?
It was a Squad movie.
Oh, you know what? You're right, Luis. They probably killed her because of the Suicide Squad film.
Yeah.
What the hell,
Like
DC?
Deadshot.
What was the whole point? What's the point of having two separate universes to have creative freedom if you won't let them have creative freedom? What's the point then? Whatever. Alright, so does anyone else want to have anything else to say before we move on to Character of the Week and letter grade?
No.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Character of the Week, Felicity.
My character... Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, Felicity.
Felicity.
Yeah, Felicity.
Yeah, for once. I don't think we've ever said her for Character of the Week, have we?
I don't think so.
Mm.
Oh, great. The baby's... Shit.
Alright, Brandon's gonna have to be quiet. Oh well.
No, the baby's already awake, so it doesn't matter.
Alright, whatever. Maybe we can get good audio quality now. Alright, so, besides, that thing's gonna wake up eventually. Alright, so... Okay, so, can we all agree that all three of our Character of the Weeks is Felicity Smoke?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, so... By the way, guys, they didn't name her Oracle. They named her Overwatch.
Over bitch.
Watch.
I don't know.
Over bitch.
Overwatch.
Overwatch, something like that. They said Oracle was taken, and I'm like, oh great, here comes the crazy theories that Batman exists in this universe. I'm like, get over it, people.
and watch it happen.
Yeah, it better not.
Hmm.
But anyway, okay. Letter grading. This episode really had nothing to it. It was enjoyable. The hallucination was cool. Seeing John and Andy's relationship improve was cool. But other than that, this was definitely the weakest episode of the season for me, at least in my opinion. So it gets a for me it gets a B minus.
Like a C.
Ooh.
Lack of Damien.
Okay. Someone's playing music in the background. Which one is doing that?
That's me. I put on a baby show for the baby.
As long as we don't get copyrighted for that.
You're probably going to hear some Sesame Street going on.
Oh God, please turn that down. There's copyright in that.
Alright. Okay. Do you still hear it?
Yeah.
Barely.
Now?
Yep.
Barely.
Nope.
Just barely.
Nope. I'm good. All right.
Okay.
No, we're good.
Just put a disclaimer on the bottom.
Why? They don't care. All right. They really don't care. All right. So, okay. So, yeah, Luis, you give it a C. I mean, that's kind of... I thought it had enough to give it a B minus. Why do you think it's a C instead of a B minus? Don't change your grade because I'm putting pressure on you. I'm not putting pressure on you.
Like just the lack of Damien Dark.
First it was lack of Zoom, then it's
lack of Damien Dark when it's only
this is only the first episode that he hasn't been in, or if it is, I don't know.
And and actually he was in another episode for another show.
Yeah.
So I can't really say lack of Damien Dark because we know where he was.
Well, we don't know where
we'll get to it.
Present day Damien Dark was.
Present day Damien Dark.
Yeah, whatever. I really hope next week's episode of Arrow with the calculator, whatever the hell his name isn't a filler episode.
Felicity's dad.
Oh, thanks for the spoiler, Brandon. Why did you know that before?
Oh, yeah. Huh?
Why did you have to say that?
Huh. Everyone knew it was going to be Felicity's dad, actually.
Yeah. I just wanted him to be a normal guy. But no. No one can be normal.
Oh, yeah, Roy is coming back next week, then.
Yeah.
And Nissa.
Oh, Nissa?
And Nissa?
Oh, she's coming back?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that. But do you think next week's episode will be filler? I think it will.
Probably.
It'll probably be filler. I'm sorry to say, but I think it will be. Alright, so Luis gives it a C. I give it a B minus because at the end of the day, I really like the hallucination thing. So, and, that's just me.
Kind of reminded me of season 2, Hallucinations with Oliver.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Alright, so what about you, Brandon? What do you give it?
I'd say B minus.
Okay. For the same reason as me, or...
Yeah.
Okay.
In lack of Damien Dark.
That's the only time we've said that.
Luis. Sorry, Luis.
I don't...
Yeah, it's the first time we ever get to say lack of Damien Dark.
Yeah, I know. But anyway. Alright, so that being said, let's move on to my new favorite show, Legends of Tomorrow. This was really good. Like, really good. Okay, so they're in the 70s. Are they? Okay, were they in the 70s in the last episode? Not the one yesterday, but...
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's when they went to 70s.
Okay, so they're still in the 70s. They want to acquire weaponry that they feel Vandal Savage will be there, but he's actually the seller, not a buyer. And that's when we see Damien Dark from the past. Now, I think that's just a cameo. I don't think it's going to play a role. Do you think it's going to play a role? I think it's just a cameo.
I think it's just a cameo.
Yeah. It's just
to give us some Damien Dark because he wasn't in Arrow.
Yeah. What happens when Damien Dark dies, man? There's no Damien Dark in this Arrow, so it's not as good.
So therefore, I give it an F.
Wow, man. Well, man. By the way, we are going to see Ra's al Ghul in this show. Legends.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets
we
to
are
do something.
Old man Oliver.
And an older Oliver, yeah. They did say that we're going to see him in the future.
With one arm.
Oh, no one said anything about the one arm.
I keep getting advertisements for Warner Brothers season pass to Legends of Tomorrow. It's honestly nothing to look into. You basically get every episode for $30.
Lame. I can get it for free on CW when it airs.
Now, if it was like Netflix, I still think $30 would be too much. But if it was like Netflix, where it had every episode, yeah, maybe. But
yeah. Anyway, where are you getting these ads? On Skype?
Facebook, actually.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so with that being said, back to our plot summary. So basically, they fight everyone because they're like, oh boy, these people aren't here, and so the Atom suit, a part of it comes apart, and that will cause a huge time paradox that will basically destroy things because Vandal Savage has 2016 technology in the 1970s in the hands of terrorists. That's going to cause a problem. You get what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so their job is to acquire that part back, but they're trying to figure out a way to track it. So, Professor Stein's like, oh, I made a device that could track these types of particles really early on. So, they're like, cool. And they're like, so they're going to go to the university where Professor Stein is at, and Sarah comes along with Jax. So, and I also believe so Hawkman and Hawkgirl find out there's a way to kill Vandal Savage. It's with a certain knife that killed Hawkman and Hawkgirl that can kill Vandal Savage as well. So they decide to break into a house that contains the knife, and they do this, and Heatwave and Captain Cold go out to do that along with Ray Palmer, aka the Atom. So they eventually do that. It turns out the person who had that knife was Vandal Savage in his home. So they all get trapped, and a fight scene ensues. And meanwhile, on the other side, in the university, Professor Stein, we meet young Professor Stein. And
Morty.
He is... Oh, God. This whole thing, man, was so awesome. Like... They smoke weed. You know, God, my favorite moment was like, but then Professor Stein notices something. He's like, my wedding ring is disappearing. You know, so he'll never meet his wife. So I'm like, oh shit. Like, did anyone else say, oh shit, out loud when that started happening? I went, oh my God, no. So, and they're like, well, we gotta wake him up. I'm not gonna jeopardize my marriage just because I met some sexy assassin. And Sarah's like, so you think I'm sexy?
Like, I'm gonna stop you right there.
That was so funny. I love that, man. That was really funny. And they're basically, because Sarah's trying to get the particle tracker, whatever the hell it's called, and you know she does a big.
Will you stop flirting with my younger self?
Yeah, stop flirting with my younger self. And God, it was amazing. And so they get the particle thing. Rip Hunter is able to reunite Professor Stein with his future wife. So that part is all taken care of. And they go and fight Vandal Savage, and Hawkman dies. Vandal Savage kills Hawkman
because he tried to stab Vandal Savage with a knife, and Vandal Savage says only Hawkgirl could stab him because it's her knife.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did you not catch that?
No, I didn't catch that. I just thought that knife.
The knife belongs to Hawkman. Gave the knife to Hawkgirl, so it was her possession, and she's the only one who could use it to kill Vandal Savage. Oh. That's how Vandal Savage was able to take the stabbing, be okay, and kill Hawkman.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, I missed that part. Okay. So anyway, Hawkman is dead. Time to call the Lazarus Pit. Alright, so this was a really good episode. You know, like, did I miss anything? I know.
Aside from that part, no.
I know Firestorm absorbed a nuke, but
yeah,
wasn't that like at the beginning?
You did miss some stuff from young Professor Stein's side. Like they went to steal his like thing because Ray left a piece of his suit at the auction?
No, I said that.
You said that?
Yeah, I said that.
Did you talk about like them knocking him out and stuff?
Oh yeah, Sarah knocked him out. Yeah, that was cool.
And then
Also, Sarah took the 3 weed.
Oh yeah,
sticks.
Sarah took the weed.
Even when she's high, she's a badass fighter.
Dude,
Mhm.
but they
She-
used the particle tracker to.
she was like, she's like, I could be knocked out and I could still kick all their asses.
I wouldn't go that far. Like, how are you supposed to do that? I love it when they find the accelerator. She's just like, look, I can handle this. And just like, well, you're high. And it's like, yeah, and? She kicks all their asses.
So
She takes... and she takes the part of the Atom suit. And then, everything's fine right with the world. That's not the event order of the events. But like I said, we don't cover everything. Go watch the show. If you haven't already, watch it. This show is great, man. I love it already. So, it was really good.
also, I'm like Rip Hunter is like, oh my god, will you stop messing everything up?
I know, man. It's like, I love how they're just willy-nilly. And I'm like, dude, you can't mess around with the time. Time wants it its own way, man. Like, don't fuck with time. Did we not learn anything from The Flash? Don't fuck with time. So, alright, so this was really good. Who is your character of the week? This is a hard one.
That's a hard one.
I'm going with Professor Stein, man. Old Professor Stein. I really liked him, and this was totally his episode. I think he stole the show, and I loved it. So, that's my opinion. Me, it's Professor Stein. As for my letter grading, I really enjoyed this, and I couldn't find anything I didn't like. I give it an A+. I really enjoyed last night's episode.
Me too.
So, alright, so my character of the week is Professor Stein, and my letter grading is an A+. What's your guys?
Definitely Stein, an A+.
Okay. What about you, Brandon?
Stein, A+.
Okay.
Hey, my mom's home.
Okay. Alright, so anyway. Alright, with that being said, is there anything
What?
else to talk about? Brandon, if you have to handle something, please go take care of it.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Alright, so, is there anything else that you guys want to talk about? Like, I can't really think of anything right now.
Me neither.
Okay. Luis, do you have anything you want to talk about? Like, this podcast is 30 minutes shorter than it normally is, surprisingly.
Well, that kind of like little kind of weird romance between Captain Cold and Ray.
That's not bromance.
There was no bromance.
No, he was flat out saying, Palmer, you are useless. And being a criminal is awesome. So, no, I don't think there was a bromance there. Like, what gave you that impression?
I don't know. I just thought.
Okay. No, it's fine. I just thought they were insulting each other throughout the whole thing. Anyway. Alright, so, is there anything else? I don't mind a shorter podcast this week. I'm fine with that.
I got nothing
Me
really.
neither.
Okay.
Alright, so with that being said, how'd you guys say bye to our lovely audience once again?
Bye.
Later, guys.
Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching the Classic Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our reviews, and stay tuned for next week when we review these 4 shows again, and we'll catch you all next time. Bye, everyone.